Welcome. First review back in my own room. Took me a while to get everything set up and situated. I know I did a room tour video and my room was still a freaking mess. That's alright. So today I wanted to review Death, The Sound of Perseverance. This is actually the reissue and not the original copy. Let's get a closer look at that album cover. Pretty badass. Got the track listings, and it's a 2-disc bonus edition, so you can see it with the glare, of course, and then jacket. It's a jacket cover, so you got the inside with the actual contents. So let's move on. This is actually the last album of Death before Chuck Schuldiner died of cancer, and it's very sad. But I think his legacy still lives on to this day through Death, as he was indeed called the father of all death metal. But on with the album. The album is definitely different from Death's previous albums, as Chuck kind of doesn't exactly get rid of, but he keeps the growling to a complete minimum. He doesn't growl at all in this album. He mainly screams. He changed his pitch to almost a high-pitched screaming that you see in most today's bands like Children of Bodom. I'm pretty sure Alex Alejo kind of took that style from this album in particular of Death's, but it's almost as if Chuck wanted to do something different instead of the usual death growls, so he decided to take his pitch higher. He said, those are their vocals. The vocals do fit. They're different, but I think they fit in this case with the instruments. The instruments, they're technical as all hell. I listened to this album 4 times through on a CD player, car CD player, through my laptop. Then finally through digital, and I can hear the guitars, the bass, the drums mixed in so well. There is no, discord through the instruments. The bass stands out with certain licks and riffs. The guitars, the technicality with the solos. Chuck's solos are just mind-blowing. It's such a sad thing that we lost such great talent, but his solos and guitar playing is just beyond this world. The drums are fast-paced, the double bass, just constantly pounding your ears, and they're powerful, and it's what makes Death. Now, I guess tracks-wise, it's only got 9 tracks. I mean, that's pretty standard for an album these days. 9 to 12 tracks, I think, is a standard now for nowadays albums. I think 12 is a little bit above, but 10 tracks is enough. But the 9th track is actually Judas Priest cover, and I think other than there were some parts I did not like about that track that much, but Painkiller was definitely a standout track for me, as Judas Priest is one of my favorite bands, and it's a band that got me into metal in general. So I enjoyed Painkiller. Other favorite tracks of mine would probably be Spirit Crusher, as there's a certain riff. There are certain songs that have this riff that kind of just captivates the listener, and I think about midway into Spirit Crusher, there's this specific riff that kind of just, that when I first listened to this album, I thought, oh, hold up, I got to rewind and listen to that again, because that riff was so iconic and so breathtaking. I needed to listen to it again. It was just so good. It was one of those. It's like The Conjuring on Megadeth's album, Megadeth's Peace Sells album. Lyrics are very poetic in a sense. It's funny saying poetic in death metal. I mean, you've got Cannibal Corpse, which is like kill somebody in the most artistic and brutal way possible, and you've got other death metal bands doing sort of kind of following that same road, but Death was definitely an exception since, well, they came before Cannibal. But Chuck's lyrics are extremely poetic in a sense where it's almost like you could sing the lyrics to like a different song, but yet he makes it work with this death metal sound that it's its own art form. Like, you cannot touch it. You cannot soil the legacy that he built up with this. So all in all, it's a fantastic album. I definitely recommend people buying this album, as it does. Chuck's legacy does live through all of Death's albums, especially The Sound of Perseverance. You can take one more look at that album art. Disc 2 is filled with demos without bass, and other like demos from this album and from previous albums. So that's a pretty cool note. Personally, I wasn't much of a fan of like no bass demos. I'd much rather have the demo with everybody in it. But there you have it. I think it's a great album to buy if you have some extra money lying around. You just want something to listen to. Definitely go out there and buy the album. It's not that expensive for a 2-disc CD, and it's a really good remaster. How they mixed it with this was very professional. So with that being said, I will see you in the next video.